Hey, just to let you know, this is just a condensed form of a review from our podcast episode. If you'd like to watch the full episode, link in the description.
Next on my list of releases, I'll take a back seat here because I haven't seen this one, is Elemental.
All right, Robert, you go ahead first. We're on the same page for this, though, I think.
Yeah, I believe so. So I've seen it twice, so I wanted to get a solid opinion on it. I think
It's funny. You before you were like, "Oh, I've not seen too many films," but you've seen the same film multiple times.
well, I think the issue is though.
Have you seen it multiple times?
I've seen this twice. I've seen this.
Jeez,
Yeah. Well, it's not more out of like if I had not gone with the people I went with, I would never have watched it unless it came out on Disney Plus. But seeing it twice, I actually did enjoy it, and I thought it was a good, it was a good movie. I didn't think there was anything special about the movie, especially. I think Pixar has lost its its sparkle, and
that special sauce.
yeah, it's not
Owen Wilson in films.
it's not the same anymore. Like, you can when you're watching it, you're definitely like, oh, this could have been really good, but it's still really good because like they the way that they deal with racism and like the diversity of working class, middle class, I think is done really clever. The way I really like the two characters and the love interest. I think they're really interesting. Like they're fun to watch. They're not boring, and especially I forget what's the is it Amber?
It's like Amber or Ember or something.
Yeah,
like
I think
that.
it's Amber.
Yeah.
Like her parents, especially her dad. I thought they were really good parts of the film. So I think it's a film where a lot of people will relate, especially the I think maybe the
minorities, maybe.
What's sorry?
Like minorities, is that what you're looking for?
Yeah, but maybe.
No, but like that's kind of how it's portrayed, though. It's like
I was going to say maybe more the generation above us.
Sorry, I apologize.
Yeah, I didn't think he was going to say minority.
Yeah.
Well, that's kind of what the film's about, though, because like the fire people are like not like they're treated as like what do you call them? People who come in from another country, immigrants. They're essentially immigrants. So I thought that's what you were hinting at, but I guess not. I guess
but
not.
they do that really well. The immigration of elements, I found that was really fascinating.
That was honestly probably my favorite part, is kind of getting to that lore, as well. But yeah, like at the end of the day, is it a cliche film? Yes. Like, is there anything special about the love story? Not really. Do I like it? Yeah, that's probably my favorite part, or at least one of my favorite parts, is the chemistry between those two characters. Because going in with the trailers and stuff, I was not buying it, but as soon as the film started, you know what did that? I think Ember. I think I really liked her, and I was like, you know what? Just give me more you, and I'm fine. Like we're good. Like the guy, he's fine, but like she was really good. She's probably my favorite Disney character in a long time as well.
I'm gonna be honest. The guy just reminded me if our mate Ewan was just a nice guy, that's what he'd be like. and it was no offense, Ewan. It was like what Ewan could be.
Right.
If you went to church, that'd be him.
There's a timestamp. I'm going to see that in the comment.
I know. I'm waiting for the.
You'll find it.
Probably a pin comment. I will say, on the outside, the trailer is the reason I didn't go see this film.
That's fair. I don't think the trailer was interesting.
As well as I've kind of just lost my patience with Pixar and Disney and whatever they own at the moment.
Yeah.
Especially for theater going. Like obviously Ahsoka's out, and that's obviously Disney as well.
Mhm.
But I don't have to leave my couch to go go see that. But like to like
Yeah.
go out and see a film. I know it's not that much of an effort, but like I got to pay a ticket now. You know, like I don't want to go pay for shit that I don't want to go see.
Yeah, that's fair.
So
Yeah.
like
Is it on Disney Plus yet? No, or is it still in? When's that?
It's not on it yet, I don't think, because
it's not bad enough. It's not bad enough to get a pushed release on Disney Plus yet.
because I believe Little Mermaid still isn't out on,
It
or
comes
maybe
out this Wednesday.
Oh wow,
Don't remember
Yeah.
comes out this week.
this week, yeah.
I see.
So I think it's, but I'm with Ryan. Like like I said earlier on, if it wasn't for the people I went with, I wouldn't have chosen to go.
Yeah,
Sorry.
and I only saw it because I was in town, and I was like, well, I travelled this far, I might as well see a film,
Yeah.
and that was the only reason I saw it. So none of us intentionally went to see the film, but the two of us that did end up seeing it. Quite liked it in the end.
Yeah.
I don't. Is Pixar fixed? No, but it's a nice change of pace from what we've had recently.
I have a couple of
Yeah.
questions about it from the outside before having seen it for you guys. Is these topics were already kind of covered in Zootopia. So
Yep.
what do you think it is in relation to that? And do you think it's just that with a love story? And my second question, you don't have to answer these, but like just through conversation, where would you place this in Pixar's recent lineup? Is it better than the kind of recent average films we've had, or is it kind of middle of the road or worse?
What would you say is Pixar's recent, like?
So I would say like Inside Out, Finding Dory,
Lightyear.
Onward.
Oh, right.
Oh,
Oh, wow,
okay.
we're going that far back.
Okay.
What, 2015?
Yeah, yeah.
Wait.
Oh, damn.
Sorry, I missed. I only heard Lightyear. I missed what?
So Inside Out, I'd say like Inside Out, Coco, Onward, Turning Red,
Okay,
Finding Dory, those type of films.
For me, I would say I think I'm a bigger lover for Lightyear than most people, and I would say in the recent films it would be Lightyear then Elemental, and I think I really didn't.
Better than Coco.
I liked Coco. I would put Coco third, but I wasn't like.
What about Soul? You like Soul?
I did like Soul, but I do prefer Elemental.
That's fair, that's fair.
Okay.
Like I like Coco isn't a bad film at all, because I'm pretty sure it won an Oscar, did it not, for its like music?
Coco is pretty much the only hope I have for Pixar at the moment.
Yeah, like Coco is a great film, and
2018.
Yeah, it's the only thing keeping me interested at least.
and I would definitely understand why most people would say Coco is one of the better ones of the recent, especially if they're like, oh, it's my favorite. I'm not going to argue with it. I just personally preferred Elemental and Lightyear over it. Sorry.
That's fair.
Okay.
That's
And
fair.
the Zootopia one. Oh, sorry, Brendan.
I've had a weird relationship with Disney Pixar in the last like 5 years because I've barely seen any of the newer ones. I liked Lightyear. I liked Soul, or at least half of it. I like the real life stuff in Soul. I don't like the afterworld stuff. I didn't like the look of it. I love Coco. Freaking Cars 3, top 10, baby, top 10 Pixar.
Cars 3 is great though, isn't it?
It actually
It
is.
is.
Like, I'm actually so excited I watched that. Elemental, in comparison to those, I'd probably. The thing is, what I love about Pixar, like up until that point you're saying, is their originality. And for example, I quite like Inside Out for how original it is, because it just like the concept. I'm like, I love that. Whereas like this, like you said, it is just this Zootopia, just with elements, which is cool. And it's cool how they interact, because they all have like special powers and stuff, and how they affect the world and the city and stuff. Whereas it's not just like predators and prey, which I also still liked.
Yeah.
It is essentially the same though. It's not like they do like a Monsters Inc. where they have this whole different system, and and it, like, because that's what I love about Monsters Inc. How it functions off of screen power and stuff like that. It's like sick. Anyway, I'd probably rank this probably lower than Cars 3 and Coco, but higher than Lightyear and Soul. Like around there. It's definitely the best one in the last few years, in my opinion, but it's still like a 7. So I'm not gonna praise it that high. But
Well,
what was your second part?
that
The
Was it the
Zootopia,
Zootopia?
that was both of them.
Or what do you think about that?
I think it did better than Zootopia. Like,
Because they are similar.
Yeah.
Because it's got like the male female dynamic as well. You know, like
but
as a duo.
the way they, I think did the whole, I guess, like the animals and the elements. I think I found this way more interesting, and I thought it made, not that the animals thing didn't make sense, but this one I was like, oh yeah, but it was nice and like satisfying in the way they did it. It was like, oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
You know, like they, like in the fire area, they've got a bridge, not a bridge, sorry, a railway above them, and as the train comes, water comes down, and like
Mhm.
all of them have umbrellas that they put up so that
Yeah.
they're not like, they don't go out, and that the fire the fire people had to adapt to the water people, and it wasn't like there was a people were adapting to each other. It was the fire had to adapt to everyone else, which I thought was a lot better than what Zootopia did. So
Yeah, that's fair.
Okay.
Ryan, do you mind if I spoil one thing, or do you care about spoilers at all for this, or
No.
right? There's a scene that I absolutely loved, and then like it felt like I don't know what I don't know what I think. Honestly, I'm interested in Robert's thoughts are, because you typically hate scenes like this.
yeah,
So the water dude dies, and it was absolutely heart wrenching to me anyway, because I was loving their relationship, and I was hoping for it to work out. Like he turns into steam essentially, because they're stuck in the fire pit or whatever. And I was like, oh my god, that's amazing, because they set that up. They set that up because they were like, oh, fire and water can't mix. Like, it's just impossible, and they proved it. They like that's just a hard fact of life. And I'm like, oh my god, that's amazing. But then it's a Disney film, so he came back to life, and I was like, oh, you're joking.
Well,
I was like, you're joking.
I agree with you, but the thing is that's how water comes back. Like it is.
Yeah,
like,
no, I get it.
So I'm like,
Yeah.
I agree with you because they did it so well, and you were like, oh,
Does he
and
come
then
back via the
Yeah.
water cycle?
what? Sorry.
Does he come back through the water cycle?
So you know how when water like turns into steam and then it goes to the roof, like the highest thing, and then
Yeah, through
it,
the
like,
water cycle. Yeah,
Yeah,
so
yeah,
he
yeah,
like
yeah,
condenses
yeah.
and then reappears.
yeah, and he reappears, and like yeah, it was one of those things where it's like, oh, as Brandon says, but then you're
Yeah.
like, oh, for goodness sake.
Obviously,
But at the same time, I'm glad he's alive because I like them. So I'm so conflicted about how I feel about
obviously in
it.
context that would make more sense, but out of context that sounds fucking dumb as hell.
No, honestly, like it's done really well. It's just, and the way they even bring him back, like scientifically works as well. Like I was actually like fair chuffed with it, but yeah, I was a bit like, oh, like you had it, but then you let go of it, but then they're happy, and then I'm like, oh, I like that because it's a freaking Pixar film, you know, like they're gonna.
Well, I don't know. 'Cause Pixar films are notorious for having a happy ending, but not the one that you set out to get, right?
Oh, well, true, yeah, true,
Yeah, because
actually,
like now,
true.
I personally did not enjoy Inside Out, but there was like that heart wrenching moment where that elephant dude dies.
Bing bong.
Yeah, and it's like
I'm
Pixar.
dead as well. I'm not
Yeah.
a big fan of Inside Out either. I can't lie.
I really don't like the second I heard the second one was happening, I was like, all right, that's a waste of money.
I'm out.
Yeah, but
I'll watch it.
I know you will. I'm not, but yeah, it was like you can always count on, for one point in the Pixar films to have that kind of like, oh, that that was gut wrenching,
Right.
because like even in Lightyear, I wouldn't say it's an emotional film, but this whole thing of he's having to time travel almost.
We're off topic anyway.
Yeah,
We're way off topic.
We're back.
Yeah, Elemental good.
Yeah,
Elemental good.
let's next film.